I heard what the first speaker has said about the crisis of the refugees in Rohingya. Uh, Let me tell you one thing. From where did this crisis start? Uh, Long before in 1970, when they had started a tiff between the Muslims of the Rohingya and the people who are just practicing Buddhism. I wonder that all over the world, Buddhists, they have been taken, and indeed they are, as the peace lovers who are dispersing peace around. No doubt they are. But in a state where most of the people, they are the Buddhists, they cannot endure the existence of minority of Muslims who are living in Rohingya for years and years. And the crisis was fueled by the, you know, uh, uh, that when the government did not accept acceptance of the Muslims who are living in Rohingya in a state of minority. So such things they do happen, and it's really disappointing because just one act from the Muslim world, the entire world start vociferating that it's a terrorism, it's extremism, it's something against human rights, it's something against peace. But if you just look around, you can come across many of the incidents, many of violation of the peaceful and human rights rules all over the world when the Muslims are um, under such atrocious acts. I'm not saying that only the Muslims who are suffering it. I'm just talking about in a wider spectrum. I'm talking about the humane. I'm talking about the humanity. When there is one act of atrocity from the Muslim world, they lament, the entire world lament. 20 years of 9/11, 20 years of the massacre of the Twin Tower in New York has been taken as a world, uh, uh, the worst day. No doubt it is. But on the other hand, when the similar state of atrocious brutality fall over any Muslim state, like in Rohingya, like in Iraq, like in Afghanistan, like in Syria, why do the people they name it as, the terrorism, and see that is something against human rights, human of the Muslim, they are just violating the peace rules. Um, Here, I would like to highlight that the role of United Nations is really not very promising. Uh, that is the most of the time. I really wonder the deafening silence of United Nations regarding the offense, regarding the brutalities, regarding that barbarism in some of the states where you see that the bombardment is there, the government fumbled with the constitution to take away the rights of survival from the people. So at that time, really, the deafening silence of United Nations is outrageous. And in the same case, I have witnessed in Rohingya as well. I remember when Mahin asked me that we are going to have a webinar, I said that I guess in 2014 I had written a poem, and I must talk about here the Bosnia, isn't it? The Muslims of Bosnia, the Muslims of the living in the small states around the world. I'm a peace lover. I just look at the lives of human beings above the racial and religious discrimination. But I really want to cry out. I really want to highlight that why do we have such examples around that when it comes to the minorities who are just practicing Islam, they are not being notified by the world, that when they talk about that Islam is an orthodox religion, Muslims are fundamentalists, Muslims are, they named jihad as terrorism. But on the other hand, what about the crisis of the various refugees who are living around? Afghan refugees, Syrian refugees, the refugees from Libya, refugees from uh, um, many African countries. Okay, if somebody would say that I'm very biased, I'm talking about the religion taking humane with reference to the religion, let's not talk about it. But you see that the people in Africa, many are the refugees, they are living in the refugee camp. So I heard our respectable first speaker who said that without the assistance of United Nations, the crisis of the Rohingya refugees cannot be resolved. I admit, but where's the help? Isn't it? Like you are living in Malaysia, you must be knowing about this Timor. If a 20 years crisis can be resolved within a few days by United Nations, so why the crisis of the Rohingya refugees cannot be resolved? I think that most of the people, they have forgotten about the misery, about the agony of the people who are living in the refugee camps in Bangladesh and Malaysia. See their life, and I remember a few years back, the refugees, they were roaming in small boats, small ships, because no country was agreed to give them the land to live, to start their living there. And then, gradually they have started their dwelling in the refugee camps in Malaysia and in Bangladesh. During the 2020 pandemic times, I have come across many, news about the Rohingya refugees who are living in the camps of Bangladesh. And there was a report by UNHCR, and they said that Bangladesh government is really taking a good care of the Rohingya refugees who are living in the camps. Okay, that's good that you're appreciating Bangladesh government to take care the refugees of Rohingya. Why there is no verdict? Why there is no word to the government of Myanmar that there should be a proper resolution to make the people of Rohingya to go back to their homes? How long they are going to live in the refugee camps? It's their right that they can go back. So I really appreciate the Malaysian government and Bangladesh government who are just taking care of the refugees. But isn't it so unfair if we'll just put ourselves in the shoes of the refugees who are living in the camps? You know that we have our small tantrums. I can't sleep because it's not my pillow. Oh my God, you are sleeping at the side of my bed where I can sleep peacefully. So just think about those refugees who are living in the camps for ages, and uh, I'm scared, and I'm sure that most of the world, uh, uh, I think they never think about the crisis of the Rohingya refugees who are living in the camps in Bangladesh and in Malaysia, and I think some of them are living in Indonesia as well. So UNHCR appreciates the countries who are just giving shelter to these refugees in their countries. But can there be a word for to resolve this crisis of Rohingya Muslims as a minority who want to live a peaceful life in Myanmar? This is what I want to say. This is what I want to raise my voice. And please don't take me that while I'm talking about Rohingya refugees, I'm a fundamentalist or orthodox. No, not at all. I'm a peace lover. I speak for the human beings. I speak for the rights of the human beings. So let's think about the racial and religious discrimination. Let's think out of the box that the right to live as a free nation is the right of every human being. Why this right is not being given fairly to every nation, to every country? Uh, Thank you from my